Well, let's do one final one. What is your third piece of advice for that family member that comes to you and says, hey, I want to do what you did?
I would say, what's your risk level?
Hmm.
Because your risk level will determine the type of real estate investment that you do. And for some people, they're okay buying houses in Detroit, you know, $20,000 houses and putting 30 into them. And you're repeating it every 5 years, which they don't realize. Some people are high risk. Some people are like, I really like to own a primary, or I want a house hack, and I'm very low risk, and I'd like to buy something near me. So the risk level to me will also tell what type of investment you're willing to do. So if I could get a picture of their finances, their risk level, whether they have opportunity near them, that could kind of help me understand what type of property and maybe where they would be comfortable to invest in and actually be willing to move forward doing it, because some people would be amazing at doing short-term rentals at the beach.
Yeah.
That's their comfort level. They have the income for that. It will make them good money, and they have the time to do it. That's a completely different person than someone who's, can only afford an $80,000 single family out of state, and it has to be rent ready with no repairs. So I feel like I would need to have all that information before I could kind
Yeah.
of help guide them on what their choices are.
I think the last thing I would advise someone, again, a family member, is especially if they didn't own their home, was there's a lot of value in getting on the property ladder uh, with a primary. Lowest
Oh
down
yeah.
payment. There are programs. There's a 203K loan. You
Mm-hmm.
can now get into a fourplex with 5% down with some new FHA rules and regulations. Now, of course, it isn't right for everyone. But again, if I'm thinking about the family members that I'd be speaking with, they're generally a decade or two younger than me. And I would just remind them that there's a lot you can do with a primary. For example, one of the things that very few people know is if you move into a primary, you live there for 2 years and you sell it, you can take the gains tax free.
Yep.
One of my greatest aha moments occurred probably 15 years ago when Olivia and I were traveling on a cruise. One of the couples we bounced into, all they do is buy expensive homes in Southern California as a primary, live in them for 2 years as they fix it up. Then they sell it because they are married. They can take 500 grand tax free. And this is not a one and done. You could do this over and over. And that's what they've done for almost 2 decades.
Oh.
203K loan. My second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. Meet Kevin's story is in there because he talks about saving 9 grand at Jamba Juice and doing a 203K loan for him and Lauren before they had kids. There's so many ways you can get started with a primary. Um, you don't have to start with a rental property, right? So that's probably something I would have a conversation with friends or family. But
I
Casey, at
would
the end of
say,
the day,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. At the end of the day, I was going to say
Oh,
wrap us up and tell people where they can find you.
all right. I'll say one last quick thing. When
Sure.
it comes to primaries, for many people, we don't have a fortune teller for the rest of our lives. And for
Mm,
many people, your primary is going to be your biggest savings account. You
yeah.
never know what financial problems may hit your family, a crisis, who knows? And many people, it gives you the goosebumps, rely on the equity in their homes in retirement. So, if
Hmm.
anything, yes, get a primary. And do I think a primary is an investment? Yes, I do. And then there's debate on that. But I
Mm.
absolutely think that owning a home and gaining equity is something very important to do. All right. Where you can find me, Brick by Brick Wealth on Instagram, on YouTube. Guys, give me a follow on YouTube. My channel's starting back up. I've got all my decorations coming. So I'm really excited.
There you go. And don't forget, she will be in Vegas. If you're one of the 300 plus people coming, Casey will be there. And if you buy the virtual ticket, I forget what time you're speaking, but I do have the agenda, which you can go find it and interact with Casey at the event. Thank you.